Hey everybody, it's Mrs. Tucker. I want to talk about multiplication facts. Now, I've taught many a student in my day. I've taught tons of 13 and 14 and 15-year-olds that do not know their multiplication tables. And I've also taught adults at community college that don't know their multiplication facts. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. We got to get those memorized. And I'm here to help you. All right, here's what your standard multiplication table looks like. Usually it's a 10 by 10 grid, starting with 1 through 10 in the rows, in the top row, and 1 through 10 in the bottom row. I went ahead and extended it starting at 0 and going all the way out to 12. All right, and it looks like a daunting task, but it's not as bad as you think. Because first thing, if you notice, in our multiplication table, 6 times 3 is 18, but 3 times 6 is also 18. So our multiplication table is kind of a mirror image. And if you take out all the duplicates, take out your duplicate facts, like 4 times 9 is 36 and 9 times 4 is 36, if you take out the duplicates, half of the table goes away. All right, so we're only looking at half of the table now, and we're going to start with the easy ones, the ones you should already know. Everybody knows that any number times 0 is 0. So we've got that first row in our multiplication chart done. Everybody knows that. Okay, and the next one everybody knows is that 1 times any number is that number. 1 times 8 is 8, 1 times 9 is 9. So there's another row that we can knock out because we already have that memorized. Now with the tens are really easy. If you're going to multiply a number, say 10 times 7, it's 7 with a 0 behind it. And 10 times 4 is 4 with a 0 behind it. And 11 times 10 is 11 with a 0 behind it. And 12 times 10, 12 with a 0 behind it. So the tens are really easy to memorize. Most everybody has them memorized. Now, what else is easy? Well, your 11s are easy. And first of all, we've already taken care of the 0 facts, the 1 facts, and the 10 facts. Now, up to 10, up to this point here, from here to here, when you multiply by 11, it's that number it's that number repeated. So 11 times 3 is 33. 11 times 4 is 44. 11 times 6 is 66. 11 times 9 is 99. That's really easy. So up to this green line, most people have that memorized. All right? Now, the 2s are easy because most of us learned how to count by 2s in either kindergarten or first grade. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. It's the number doubled. So 2 times 3 is 3 plus 3, which is 6, and 2 times 5 is 5 plus 5, which is 10. It's the number doubled. And we've knocked out another row. Okay, can you see how we're narrowing down into this little bitty area right here? I'll worry about the 12s later. Okay, we're going to get to our 5s. Everything that's highlighted in yellow we've already talked about. So 5 times 3 through 5 times 9, most people know how to count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Most people have their 5s memorized. So now we're down to this little bit right here. All right, now let's say you don't have some of your 5s memorized. What I want you to do for anything you don't have memorized, I want you to go and get some 3x5 recipe cards from the store. And on the front side, the multiplication fact that you don't have memorized, you'll write it down. Say 5 times 7 equals, and on the back side, put 35. So if there's some in the 5s you don't know, that's what we're going to start with. Okay? If you don't know 5 times 3, 5 times 4, 5 times 6, 5 times 7, 5 times 8, 5 times 9, put those on flashcards and only memorize those. When you're done memorizing those, then we'll go on to the next set. Okay, and look at how much of this, everything that's highlighted is stuff we've already talked about. Okay, now with the nines. It's kind of a weird place to jump into, but we can start with the finger trick. Let me show you the finger trick on multiplying with nines. Hold your hands up, either palms up or palms down, it doesn't matter, and you're going to number each one of your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now let's say you wanted to multiply by 9 times 2. Take the number 2 finger and fold it under. Your answer, there is 1 finger on the left side of the one that's folded down, and there's 8 fingers on the right side that's folded down, meaning your answer is 18. Okay, let's say we're going to do 9 times 9. You fold down, if 9 is the number we're multiplying by, fold down that finger, so fold down your number 9 finger. How many do you have to the left? There's 8. How many do you have to the right of that finger? There's 1. So 9 times 9 is 81. Here is 9 times 8. This is your 8 finger, so you fold it down. On this side we have 7 fingers, and on this side we have 2. So 9 times 8 is 72. Isn't that pretty slick? If you're doing 9 times 6, the thumb here is your 6 finger. On the left-hand side we have 5, and on the right-hand side we have 4, and your answer is 54. Now, I have seen people doing the number trick. You know, you can see people using their fingers to count. Here's another trick where people won't watch you doing that. Here's my nines timetables. 9 times 1 is 0, 9. When you add 0 plus 9, you get 9. When you take each one of the digits in the product, say the 1 plus the 8, that gives you 9. The 2 plus the 7 gives you 9. The 3 plus the 6 gives you 9. Your product, when you add the 2 digits, always adds up to 9. So some people do their nines like this. What they'll do is, if I'm taking 9 times 6, they'll reduce the 6 by 1, meaning the answer starts with 5, and then 5 plus what gives you 9? Yeah, 5 plus 4 gives you 9. The answer is 54. What if you have 4 times 9? Well, take the 4, reduce it down to 3, and 3 plus what gives you 9? Yeah, that's 6. So you can do that without people see you counting on your fingers. All right? So if you don't have your nines memorized, the chances are these are the 6 that you need to memorize. Put those on flashcards, the ones you don't remember, and you work through the nines until you get them all the way memorized. And you don't know any more, just the nines. So now we've knocked off the nines, and here's what we have left to memorize. All right, let's talk about perfect squares. Everybody started doing perfect squares sometime in middle school. 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16. You couldn't have gotten through the 8th grade without doing Pythagorean theorem. So you all learned your squares. Let's go ahead and fill in our squares. All right, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16, 6 times 6 is 36, 7 times 7, 49, 8 times 8, 64, 11 times 11, if you haven't memorized, that's 121, 12 times 12 is 144. Look at what we're down to now. Excluding the 12s, we have 10 facts left to go. And also, if you don't know any of those perfect squares, put them on a flashcard. All right, our threes. We're just down to 1, 2, 3, 4 facts that we haven't talked about. 3 times 4 is 12, 3 times 6 is 18. If you don't have any of these memorized, put them on a flashcard and go over them again and again and again until you have it memorized. Once you have it memorized, we only have 6 facts left to go. All right, 6 more facts. All of these here we have covered. We're down to our 4s. Everything highlighted we have talked about. Excluding the 12, you should only have 3 of the 4s left to memorize. 4 times 6 is 24, 4 times 7 is 28, 4 times 8 is 32. Any of these you don't have memorized, put on a flashcard. Once you have them memorized, fill in your chart. We only have 3 more facts to go. Okay, 6 times 7 is 42. I can't think of any, slick tricks for that. You just have to memorize it. But I do remember when my daughter was learning her math facts, she had a hard time remembering 6 times 8. And the little trick I used with her was it rhymes. The product of 6 times 8 rhymes. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 8 is 48. And I had her repeat it and repeat it and repeat it until she had it memorized. Okay, so if you don't have these memorized, put them on a flashcard. Hopefully you're only down to 2 flashcards now. So go over those daily until you have them memorized. And once you have them memorized, you're down to 1 last multiplication fact. All right, and it's probably the hardest. 7 times 8 or 8 times 7 is 56. This was another hard one for my daughter to memorize, and so what I told her was, if you look at the numbers, I see a 5, a 6, a 7, and an 8. A 5, a 6, a 7, and an 8. If you start off with the product, 5, 6 equals 7 times 8, they're all in order, 5, 6, 7, 8. But 5, 6 is your product or your answer. That helped her memorize her 7 times 8 real fast. You get that memorized and you have memorized the whole multiplication chart. Okay? Now your 12s are a bonus. If you can memorize your 12s, that's a bonus. But if you can't, it's okay, because you can go to this 2 by 1 digit multiplication. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. So 3 times 12 is 36. Same down here. 12 times 8, well, 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 1 more is 96. If you can memorize your 12s, it really is just a bonus. So if you want to make some flashcards for that, great. Okay, that's it. Get after those flashcards and get your multiplication facts memorized. Good luck, everyone.